Hi guys, it's time for holiday palette review round 3, and today I have the Tarte Amazonian Clay Bling It On palette. This is the third installment. I have all 3 of them and I had to get it. It's like an addiction, so I ordered it off the Sephora website. It is $44 and comes in this box right here, and on the back it lists the different blushes that it comes with. And then inside is the palette itself. It looks like this. It's very glittery and sequincy and all black. I don't really like that the sequins actually start to come off on your hands, so throughout this video you may see little black specks on my hands, and that's what that's from. And it does come with 5 blushes inside like the other 2 years, and these are each 0.15 ounces. Last year and the year before they were 0.158 ounces, so it's very similar, but for some reason they made these slightly, ever so slightly smaller. And a full-size version of a blush from Tarte is 0.2 ounces. So although on the Sephora website it says that these are full-size blushes, they're not, but still very similar. And it is $44, so you get a lot for your money. The value is definitely here. For $44 you get $105 worth of product when you do the math. By the way, they now put the names of the blushes on the palette itself, finally, because the last 2 palettes they only had that plastic cover on top and they had the names on that, but I don't think that's very functional. So I do like that they put the names on here. So the first one is called Fetching, and this one is a brand new shade. It's kind of like a pink, but it's a little bit deeper and almost like a berry shade. Then you have Dollface, which is one of their permanent blushes on their website. And this one is a really nice pink, just a solid Barbie pink. Then you have Prim. It's a very neutral blush. It did come across a little bit pink on my cheeks, but it's still the most neutral out of the 5. Smashing is still a pink, but it's a lot warmer, almost like a coral. And then Beaming over here is the only one that has shimmer in it, but it doesn't really translate onto the skin. But it does have some shimmer, and the rest of them are kind of a satin matte finish. And this one is a really nice peach. So I'll quickly go through some pros and cons. Like I mentioned before, the value. You get a lot of product for the money. Again, $105 worth of blush for $44. I think this is a great way to do it. It's the only time of year that I ever buy Tarte blushes. I don't own any of the individual ones. I think it's a great money-saving way to do it, and I can still try 5 of them every year. Also, the names on the packaging. I'm so glad that they did that. And aside from all the glitter and the sequins, it is nice that it's a very sleek palette. So if texture doesn't really bother you, because it is pretty gritty, but if that doesn't bother you, it is very nice and portable. I do like that it also comes with a nice big mirror, so this is very travel friendly. And another pro to this palette is the way that they feel, the way that they apply, and how long they last on your cheeks, which is of course very important when it comes to blush. They feel so buttery and soft when you're swatching them, and then when you're applying them, it doesn't really kick up a lot of dust. There's not a lot of powder that's coming up. It's not a big deal when that happens, but with this one, you don't really have to worry too much about it. It doesn't look very powdery, and they also last a long time. I wouldn't say they last as long as my The Balm Instains. I think those are even more long lasting. But these are pretty good for just like a full work day, for example. I can go to work all day and these last pretty well on my cheeks. Of course, everyone's different with their skin types, but I do have oily skin and I blot a lot throughout the day, and I think the Amazonian Clay blushes from Tarte are really good. And I'll quickly go through some cons that I have not mentioned yet, since I feel like anything can have some cons. I think the color selection is kind of boring and very everyday. This is perfect for someone though who doesn't have a lot of blushes, or you don't have any Tarte blushes or don't have a lot of Tarte blushes and you want to try them out. I think this is a great way to do it, and I think that's why it's nice that they kept it very neutral. But if you have a lot of blushes already in your collection and you're wondering if you need this or you want to invest in it, this isn't really that unique. These colors you can probably find in your own collection already. They don't really stand out to me, but because I'm a blush enthusiast and I love collecting these Tarte blush palettes every year, that's why I get it, and that's why I love it. but if you are looking to incorporate some new blush shades into your collection, I don't really think this is the way to do it. So now I'm going to compare this palette to the previous palettes from the other years in case you have those and you're wondering if you should add the 2015 version to your collection. So I'll start off with the one from 2014, and this one is called the Pinup Girl palette. This one is so bulky. I don't remember exactly what I said in my review last year. I probably said it was kind of pretty, but the more and more I used it, it was feeling bulkier and bulkier. And it looks like this. It's a clutch style packaging. The difference though is that it doesn't feel like cardboard. It feels very luxurious. So I put this year's palette on top and then last year's palette on the bottom. So if you just look at them, they all kind of look the same, but if you get really specific, for example, Doll Face from this year's packaging, very similar to the pink from last year that's in the middle. The peach from this year kind of looks like the peach from last year, except this year's is a little bit more pale and it does have the shimmer in it, and last year's does not have shimmer. And then 2013's palette is the Off the Cuff palette, and this one also has that reflective packaging, but the difference between this and the one from this year is that this is basically the material that it's made out of that makes it reflective, and it doesn't have any fallout because it's not glitter or sequins or anything compared to this year's. It did come with their Park Avenue Princess bronzer, which I thought was a really nice touch. So you have your 4 blushes and then you can also bronze up the face with a bronzer. And then comparing 2013's to this year, again, when you put them side by side, they look very similar. But if you look closely, Doll Face is also very similar to the pink from 2013. And then there is a peach in the 2013 version, but it's a little bit deeper, and Beaming does have the shimmer. So overall, I think this is a really good palette for your money if you're looking to try out some Tarte blushes, or if you have someone on your list for the holidays that you want to gift something to and maybe they don't have a lot of blushes. This is a great introduction. But if you have a lot of blushes and you're looking to expand your collection with some unique shades, this is not going to be it. If you have any other questions, please let me know in a comment below, and that's it for now. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all again really soon. Bye!